morning, the FAA is ending flight reductions after affecting dozens of airports across the country. And Chinese state-sponsored hackers are accused of using artificial intelligence to target companies and government agencies around the world.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Welcome to Mountain News This Morning. I'm Neely Green here with you on this Monday, November 17th. The time is now 4:59, and let's check in with meteorologist Megan Desmond for a look at your forecast this morning. Megan, it's Monday. It's a new week. I'm so excited for the week ahead. So why don't you catch us up on some weather we can expect?
Well, Neely, it is a cold start to your week, unfortunately. However, we are going to see those temperatures building throughout the next several days. Another chance for 70 is on the way as you're rounding out the work week. But before we get there, here's what we're looking at this morning. A mixture of the upper 20s and low 30s. 32 right now in Hazard, 28 in Boonville and Manchester, 24 as you're heading towards Monticello. Thankfully, this afternoon we'll be seeing a little bit more warmth in the region as we sit in average temperatures. Mid to upper 50s are those forecast highs. Now, thankfully, we are going to be nice and sunny throughout most of your day. Then we'll see the clouds joining in later tonight and a very slight chance for some scattered showers for our far northern counties as you're rounding into your Tuesday morning hours. Now, while we are calm for today, there are storm chances ahead on your Tuesday. I'll give that update later in the newscast, but in terms of the next 12 hours, just expect a lot of sunshine until past midnight when those slight chances showers do arise. Neely.
All right, Megan, sounds good. A shift from President Trump's Sunday night. In a social media post, the president wrote, House Republicans should vote to release the Epstein files, adding, it's time to move on. The House is set to vote tomorrow on a discharge petition to force the release of all Justice Department files related to the deceased convicted sex offender.
Jeffrey Epstein as a deflection from the tremendous success that we're having.
There are a lot of other people who are involved who have to be held accountable.
President Trump has directed a Justice Department probe into the Epstein ties to top Democrats, including former President Bill Clinton and major banks, after a House panel released more than 20,000 documents from the estate of the deceased sex offender, whom the president previously said he cut ties with years ago. This morning, the FAA is ending flight reductions after affecting dozens of airports around the country. The Federal Aviation Administration officially cut flights to reduce air traffic and compensate for a controller staffing shortage during the government shutdown. Those cuts reduced flights by at least 4% at 40 of the nation's busiest locations. After weeks of uncertainty and partial payments, Kentuckians who rely on SNAP benefits are finally seeing their full food aid loaded onto their cards. It comes as the government shutdown ends, but the relief is tempered by ongoing concerns about the program's future. President Trump signed Wednesday an agriculture appropriations bill which included a change of language regarding hemp products. This language was slipped in by Kentucky Senator Mitch McConnell, and some say it could wipe out a $330 million industry in Kentucky. Senator Mitch McConnell says in a recent press release that his language, quote, preserves the legitimate hemp industry while addressing the rise of intoxicating and synthetic THC products. Caitlin Meckes with the U.S. Hemp Roundtable says this isn't true. The ban will only make healthy THC products hard to get and dangerous hemp products transferred to the black market.
Representative Morgan Griffith in Virginia will soon introduce legislation to replace a ban with robust regulation.
It's those elderly that we really need to take care of and help them manage their pain and their mental well-being.
Governor Andy Beshear said Thursday he feels Congress can do the right thing to protect everyone, while not handicapping an industry that supports many people. Chinese state-sponsored hackers are accused of using artificial intelligence to target companies and government agencies around the world. San Francisco-based AI company Anthropic just revealed its own software was used back in September in, quote, the first documented case of a large-scale cyber attack executed without substantial human intervention. Anthropic says the AI gave the hackers speed and scale that humans cannot match.
What we saw here was this Chinese actor that jailbroke, that overcame the safety guardrails that Anthropic had put in place, that then automated it to go after about 30 companies globally. It's pretty chilling, and there's a lot of work we have to do in the near future, I think, to stem the flow.
Security experts say they've been warning of these attacks for about a decade and suggest better detection and more cooperation between industry and government. New research reveals a potential reason for a troubling increase of colon cancer in young people. A study published in JAMA Oncology suggests that eating too many ultra-processed foods may be linked to a higher risk for the disease. Researchers looked into 29,000 female nurses over a 13-year period those who had about 3 servings a day increased their risk of precancerous polyps by 3%. And there was a 5% increase for those who averaged 10 servings a day of ultra-processed foods.
Well, we think that the ultra-processed foods are changing your microbiome. So those are the bacteria in your gut. So that causes increased inflammation. It can cause increased permeability of the gut wall. And then secondly, we know ultra-processed foods are associated with an increased risk of obesity and diabetes, which we also know increase the risk of various cancers, including perhaps colon cancer.
Foods that are particularly high risk include soda, diet soda, ready-to-eat meals, and packaged snacks, sauces, and condiments. CBS News medical contributor Dr. Celine Gardner says that if there's an ingredient that you can't pronounce in a food, it's most likely ultra-processed. The federal government is planning to come out with a definition to help consumers. Charlotte, North Carolina is the latest city to be targeted for immigration enforcement by the Trump administration. An operation called Charlotte's Web launched over the weekend, agents arresting nearly 100 people Saturday. Bradley Byrne is tracking the latest.
Cell phone videos captured arrests across Charlotte over the weekend, with agents pulling people from shopping centers and parking lots. Customs and Border Protection smashed the truck window of a man named Willie Aceituno, who was detained and released after he showed he is an American citizen. I told them I'm an American citizen. I'm an American citizen, he said.
They're in our yard.
Nearby, a resident shot video of agents moving in on a landscaping crew as they were putting up Christmas lights, but no arrests were made. The ICE surge in Charlotte is being led by Commander Gregory Bovino, who was also behind efforts in LA and Chicago. Bovino claimed in social media posts many of those arrested had criminal histories. The Department of Homeland Security says more than 500,000 people have been arrested and deported during enforcement operations this year. On Sunday, protesters filled the streets of uptown Charlotte to push back on the tough tactics.
It's terrifying to pretty much know that at any moment a federal agent can just come out and abuse you just because of the way you look.
I seriously believe that immigration is a civil issue. It's not criminal. So this doesn't make any sense to me.
DHS says it focused on North Carolina because of sanctuary policies that restrict cooperation between local law enforcement and federal immigration agents. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Charlotte is the 5th city to be targeted by Border Patrol for enforcement. Internal DHS documents reviewed by CBS News suggest New Orleans could be next. Thanks for getting your day started with us here on Mountain News this morning. If you're shopping around for health insurance right now, you can tell prices have increased, but not just for us, but for our furry friends too. We'll have those details.
And temperatures are warming up throughout the week with 2 chances for storms as we are finishing off the work week.